If you're a facilities manager at a university, you know students rely on the cafeteria for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and the occasional late-night snack. So when a dishwasher breaks down and dirty plates pile up, the mess hall can turn messy in the blink of an eye. Enter Grainger. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast delivery, the product you need now is never far away. So you can turn that dishwasher back into a lean, clean washing machine. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way. Well, this is Jersey Joe.
It doesn't.
Reaver After Dark.
Want the backheads to give you a blessing?
8 p.m. on shrmedia.com. Was an extremely great conservative commentator.
Classify my ass!
Government is another way to say better than you.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
Welcome to the Reaver After Dark Show with your host, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash. The Reaver After Dark Show is every Wednesday, 8 p.m. till 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. And if you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one. Click on the Reaver store. Pick up a T-shirt, coffee mug, a jersey. We have many items to choose from and more being added. So, how you doing? Hello?
You don't even remember my name.
Yeah, I know your name.
I was waiting for you to say my name.
Well, I was going to call you douchebag, but I figured I'd be nice.
What's my name?
Douchebag!
You know, same old stuff, different day. More BS in the political arena.
Oh, yeah.
More lies, deceit. You know, let's just get going with it.
Exactly. The one thing I want to talk about, I saw it on Facebook, and I don't pay attention to half this stuff, even though it's supposedly against Trump. Someone's posting that he was standing behind the RNC chairman in Wisconsin and heard him over say to make sure that they use a certain program in New York to make sure that Trump does not get over 50%, because right now he's polling way over 50%. If he gets that in New York, it's downhill from there, and he's pretty much got it. I know he lost Wisconsin. It just adds a little bit of extra pressure. He walked away with, I think, 3 delegates at least. You know, it was an empty loss for Cruz. Yeah, it was an empty loss, or empty win for Cruz.
Well, yeah, what was it? He had less people show up at the victory thing than he did during his rallies. And the thing is, in Wisconsin, there's already so many reports of fraud, of things being switched at the polls. I mean, they had one knucklehead who blatantly stated, I'm a Cruz supporter, and if these Trump supporters don't know how to work the polling machine, maybe they shouldn't be voting anyway.
Yes, the volunteer that was working.
That is not... Like, who the hell are you? Okay? Even in a primary, I might have somebody that I like over somebody else, but if I'm working a polling station, it's my job to make sure that everybody gets to cast a ballot, regardless of who they're voting for.
Well,
okay? I can disagree with them, but that's not what I'm there for.
Well, I found a video clip.
You can't.
I found a video clip from Fox from 2008 from the same computer system that was used in Wisconsin and several other states. And it shows it's a professor from Princeton, and 2 of his students, he said it was a very short time, they created a program where they can hack into these voting machines, the computer ones, and put in a virus that would switch votes. And they did it right there in front of everybody. You know, everybody voted for George Washington. Huh?
There was a movie actually, I guess it was a while ago now, but I can't remember the name of it, but it had to do with essentially voting fraud. It had to do with with voting being switched over to a computerized system, and there was a flaw in the system to where it put candidates in order based on doubles in their name. So like Dobbs, double B. So they always ended up first. It was the one, what the heck was that comedian's name? Mrs. Doubtfire. Robin Williams. Robin Williams was a talk show host, I think it was him, and everybody was saying, you should run for president. And as a joke, he did it. I can't remember the name of the movie now. That's going to drive me nuts. Anyway, I'll have to find it.
Yeah. Well, now I put it up on my own webpage. I'll put it up on the Reaver Common Sense, and I might put it up on the website. It's just very interesting. You know what? I did not expect Trump to win Wisconsin. I mean, it is what's the governor? Scott Walker is there. That's his state. The RNC chairman, Pubis, whatever the hell the douchebag's name is, he's from that state. Paul Ryan is from Wisconsin. They had that state kind of locked up. But if you take a look at the map is funny. Because Cruz won, yes, but he only won it in a couple of counties. I think it was like maybe 7 counties. But he won the counties that had the most of the population.
Yeah, it was God, I can't even think what the percentages were, but I saw the map too, and it was ridiculous.
But Cruz was smart.
Amount.
Cruz was smart. He went after the high population areas. And that's exactly what Obama did with Florida. If you look at the maps in Florida, Romney won over 90 or 95% of Florida. But Obama won the high population areas. Orlando, Miami, Tallahassee, Tampa. So, you know what? It's a good win. It happens. Let's see where Trump goes from here and if he's able to pick it back up and get the campaign going again. But the one thing I don't like is the RNC chairman and his little mouth and telling people, specifically the Trump supporters, that if they don't like it, they can go sit down. And that they will be nominating who they want for the party. Now, to me, this is that little twerp forgot, what his job is. He is there as an ambassador for the people. The people are the Republican Party. It's not the politicians. The people are the Republican Party. So let me play this clip real quick. And I know you already listened to it, so.
Before you put that on, just because I want to put this out there, 2006, Robin Williams, Man of the Year. That's the movie I was referencing. Proceed. I'd have to find it.
This is the RNC chairman.
Take building within the party. And by the way, this is a nomination for the Republican Party. Mm-hmm. If you don't like the party, then sit down. I mean, the party is choosing a nominee.
Well, let's talk about that because...
Let's play that one more time.
Things that take building within the party. By the way, this is a nomination for the Republican Party. Mm-hmm. If you don't like the party, then sit down. I mean,
well, if you don't like that you're representing the people and the Republican Party is the people, I say you ought to sit down and step the fuck down. That pisses me off.
That has got to be... Essentially, he's saying, I'm in an appointed position. I do not answer to the people. I'm not elected by the people. I have no reason to do what anybody wants me to do other than my special interest groups and what's going to best suit me. Yeah. So essentially, I'm going to hijack the entire political system for my own means, and if you don't like it, you can sit down and shut up. Well, hey, you know what? I think most of America is tired of sitting down and shutting up. I think they're finally starting to realize that that's exactly what they've been doing for way too long.
Okay, why do you think Trump is so popular? It's those people that have been silent, that have been going along, have been listening to the bullshit of the RNC and idiots like this guy. We've been listening to him and buying into it, and now we're tired of it, and he's going to tell us to sit down? And just real quick, you have other people that have been bashing anybody that's supporting Trump. Now, my question is, this is how fucking moronic they are. They are morons because they're bashing their own supporters. Do you see the Flyers bashing their supporters? Do you see the Eagles, the NFL? They do not bash their own supporters. That is the quickest way to kill your business. I hate to use those words. He's threatening us.
Well, they've been threatening Trump the entire damn time.
I know.
I mean, shoot, not even just him, but I mean, even it's ironic. Everybody's jumping on Trump. I'm not trying to, but everybody jumps on. Oh, there was a violent person at one of his rallies. Trump is inciting violence. He's not speaking out against it. Okay, well, how about all these people that are, pro Hillary or pro Bernie, feel the burn, pro
STD checking,
Cruz. These are the guys that are actually committing acts of violence. You know what? I haven't seen Hillary up there yelling and berating them. I haven't seen Sanders doing it. Well, it's probably mostly past his bedtime. I haven't seen Cruz step up and actually say anything. So none of these people are actually saying anything against the violence, but they're all attacking Trump because there's violence at his rallies, yet it's not his people that are creating the violence. That's the thing I truly find ironic, is it's not his supporters that are inciting it. It's the supporters for all these other people. But then it's Trump's fault.
Exactly. And well, I'm surprised you're not yelling at me.
Do you want to blame me for the national deficit, too?
Well, yeah.
I mean, if we're just going to throw around stupid blame game.
Well, I'm surprised you haven't yelled at me, or your mom hasn't called and yelled at me. Because she posted one of those videos that's a pro-Bernie Sanders, and it's this is showing you how violent Trump is, and it's showing incidents that are happening at a Trump rally. And then it shows a Bernie Sanders rally where everybody's running around hugging each other. Well, I put some responses below and showing that it's, the Bernie Sanders supporters are the ones that are showing up and starting the incidents. Yes, the Bernie Sanders rallies are nice and calm because troop supporters respect that you have the right to go there and listen to the man without interruption. They give that respect, but they don't get it back. And I posted several of the videos just to show my point that, yeah, I can make a video and make it look any which way I want. It's so easy.
And that's the thing. And that's why, that one bonehead that got maced.
Oh.
It's...
They were still jumping all over that.
Bandwagon.
They were jumping all over that for what?
People actually looked. Other than people that actually looked at the videos. People that actually looked at the videos initially turned around and said, hey, you know what? She deserved it.
Oh, by the way, that was the one our mom posted, too. It had it in there of, she got maced. This 15-year-old got maced. And I was like, yeah you need to see the video 15. Before.
She wasn't groped.
Nope. Police have dropped all investigation. Except for her. She's now facing charges.
Yeah, she's facing charges, and they are, last I heard, they are also looking at the individual that actually did the macing, that there may be assault charges placed against that individual as well for that use of force.
But like they said, it probably is going to get dropped because it was a defense of another person during a felony. Which I'm not sure. Well, I know in Florida, you have the right to intervene and help somebody, whether it's with a weapon or mace. You have the right to protect somebody if there's an act of a felony in progress, or if you feel that there's bodily harm going to be done. And by her striking that older gentleman, that is bodily harm. And you can say that you felt danger for him. So, yes, you pulled out a non-lethal mace. But yes,
you pulled out a deterrent.
Yeah, well, the police looked into it all, and they said, yeah, you weren't groped. You may have been bumped into, and you flew off the handle. She didn't fly off the handle. She wanted to make a scene. She wanted to make it look violent, that Trump supporters are violent.
The whole thing was staged.
Yeah, half the shit is staged. They're instigating stuff.
The funniest part about it is, I'll bet half the cameras that captured that incident were actually there, trying to get the other side of it, trying to show how violent the Trump supporters are, trying to put the spin on it that this is on Trump.
Oh, there's a couple video
and
frames.
It backfired.
Well, Trump supporters are getting smart and they're videotaping everything now. Because that's all that's happening is the left has a very good PR department. And
for
years they've had a better PR department.
They spend more money on political BS spin than anything else.
But it's worked. It's paid off, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, it has. And that's the problem. It has paid off. And honestly, I've said it before, one of the biggest problems we have in this country is the fact that, and please don't take offense to this, America, but for the most part, we're uneducated. And I don't mean uneducated in a collegiate fashion. I don't mean that you don't hold a degree. I don't mean that you're not a smart individual or very good at your trade. I don't mean it that way. I mean the fact that at times you follow blindly.
Yeah.
Instead of looking at a situation and saying, I will decide for myself after looking at the facts, you are just going to take face value.
Well,
that's what I mean by uneducated.
Right. Well, perfect example to what you're talking about with that. And I've been finding it funny with the spin because they've been talking about how uneducated the Trump supporters are, even though the polls have showed that he's been polling with college degree people, with no college degree, all over the board. And I keep hearing, well, I got a college degree and I'm smarter than you. And I'm just like, yeah, sit down, shut the fuck up. If you got to sit there and run your mouth that you're that smart, you're not that smart. He who has to run the mouth knows the least.
Yeah, the person that has to brag about what they've done has done the least.
Yeah.
The person that keeps quiet in the back of the room, that's the one
you
want
about.
to watch out for, because that's the one that's actually got the experience.
But yeah, I just get sick and tired of these people. Well, I got a college degree. Guess what? That just showed me you're not that smart. What do you mean? I got a college degree. Yeah, you paid $40,000 for a piece of paper? Tell you what, come to my house, sit for...
Easy, buddy. I've got 2 college degrees.
I know, but it's so stupid that they're pushing it. And then they want everybody to get college degrees, and what? Now they're not worth shit, are they?
No, they're not.
Because they saturated the market.
I admit, I freely admit, yes, I hold 2 college degrees. I am looking at going for another. And the biggest part of the reason is, an associate's degree, it's essentially a high school diploma. A bachelor's degree is not worth nearly. Essentially, if you want to actually get anywhere, if you want to have the advantage that somebody with a college degree had in the 80s and the 90s, today, you better start with at least a master's. That's essentially the minimum. And you better have some licensing attached to it.
They flooded the friggin' market. What do they expect?
And the funny thing is, they flooded the market with uneducated people. I've dealt with it countless times. I've had guys come up to me, well, I've got a degree in occupational safety. I've got a degree in fire engineering. Okay. Well, then you know what's wrong with the situation. Oh, well, yeah, absolutely. It's, this, and this.
Yeah, when you have the engineers, where are they standing? In the background.
And it's like, okay, so you just quoted the standard for sloping in an excavation, and we're talking about lockout, tagout violations. Good job, buddy. Good job. Come on. But they think they know everything.
Yeah, just because they have a piece of paper, and it doesn't mean they know everything. It means they spent a lot of money for that piece of paper. I'm sorry.
Honestly, one of the things I get the biggest kick out of, and I've gotten a kick out of it ever since I got my degree, and I hate to put it this way, but I really do get a kick out of it. Ever since I got my degrees, because I did it late. Originally didn't need them. I got it as an after effect, essentially. I spent a lot of time learning my damn job. And when I started having those college morons that are years younger or half my age telling me how to do my job because they've got a degree, you know what? I'm still the same arrogant prick today that I was back then. And I truly, truly love just going out in the field the same way I always have, evaluating a situation, and then having that college prick come up to me and start spouting off some ramble And then I wait for it. And then as soon as he throws out the fact that he's got a degree, like, oh, okay. Well, what place did you graduate in your class? Which college did you go to? Well, what does that matter? Oh, well, I've got 2 degrees from 2 different universities in these 2 disciplines. So now that we're on the same playing field again, you can stop talking down to me, moron, because you're wrong.
Here's the perfect example.
And it's so much fun to knock people off that damn pedestal. I'm sorry. It's like a carnival for me. You know?
All right, I'm going to give one last example, and then we got to go to a break. Everybody knows how doctors are and their attitude. One of the best ER doctors I ran across, he started out as a EMT, went to paramedic school, said, nah. He was like halfway through, dropped out, and then he became a doctor. And that man, he knew what we were doing out on the street. We didn't get the 1,000 questions. He understood why we did a lot of the stuff. He was one of the best ER doctors I've ever come across. I miss working with him ever since I came down here.
The worst, I know exactly who you're talking about, and the only problem I ever had with him was when you show up to the ER and he'd decide to just mess with you, and he'd stand there and go, and please justify to me why you decided to do this, and you have to sit there and play that damn game with him, and he always did it when there was a new nurse on board. Oh. And every damn time I just wanted to step on that little midget.
And with that,
he was a great doc. He still is. He's a phenomenal doc.
He is. He's back at St. Oh, well, we'll talk on break. All right, we'll be right back. You're listening to the Reaver After Dark show right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
you got a business. You didn't build that.
A team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying calf for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver After Dark with your hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash. The Reaver After Dark show is every Wednesday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. Remember to join a live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button, join the conversation. If you want to support the show, if you want to support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one, click on the Reaver store, pick up a t-shirt, coffee mug, or Reaver jersey, SHR Media jersey, and many others to choose from. I'm going to send this to you, and you can start doing it when we come out of break.
Nope.
Lazy bastard.
I'm not a fucking cheerleader. I don't have the boots for it.
Well, I'm starting to get there. I'm thinking about going back to smoking, God damn it. I'm not the only one.
A quitter.
There's a couple other people I know. I mean, like, that we were high school and middle school and all that together, and we all started smoking pretty much at the same time. We all just happened to quit about the same time, and they're complaining about the same thing. They put on weight and can't get it off now. Fucking doctors.
Hey, you not being able to get it off, that sounds like a problem for you and your wife.
All right, you said you wanted to say something about Cruz?
Oh, yeah. I read this thing today, and
Congratulations.
This guy is just such a... Well, yeah, I did figure out how to read. It was one of my college classes.
We didn't learn it at Lawrence High.
Oh, hell no. Learned how to make some great paper airplanes, though. Somebody actually phrased it that Cruz is not. He's not a candidate. He's a freaking Trojan horse.
Yes.
I mean, this guy he's in quit and play to demolish everything. And the more and more that I hear come out of him, actually, I guess I should say out of his representatives, because the guy damn near doesn't speak for himself. I'm kind of seeing it. I mean, there's this whole thing that he's pushing now to change homeschooling, change the classification of it to where if you are homeschooled, it will be considered a private or charter school. Actually, I don't think it's charter. I think specifically it will be considered a private school. So if I want to homeschool my kids, I'm considered a private school. Now, the reason for this is I can have, at that point, I'm eligible for a tax-exempt account. So any money in that account is completely tax-free so long as I use it for education and the associated costs. Sounds all good, right? It's a tax write-off. I don't have to pay taxes on this money. And what's one of the biggest things everybody bitches about? Taxes. So it sounds like a really good deal. Now, here's the catch. It's federally funded. It's a federal program. What comes with all federal programs? Strings.
Yeah.
Lots of them.
Oh, yeah.
And if you start looking into what's attached to that, you can get audited. You have to justify exactly what the money was used for. And if it didn't fall into certain criteria, not only do you now have to pay taxes on the money, you now also have to pay a penalty for the fact that you misclassified. If you look into, since he's calling them private schools, well, all private schools have to carry a certain level of insurance. All teachers must be accredited, must be properly credentialed. So now instead of me teaching my child science, I actually have to become a science teacher to do that. Okay, so now it's gone from now I'm having to do all this extra jumping around all through the government in order to be able to teach my kid. Oh wait, it's federally funded, so I'm getting a federal benefit. Guess who now gets to say in the criteria that I teach in my curriculum? That's right, Common Core, to an extent. Okay, the Department of Education gets more say in what I can and cannot teach. It's not all roses, and the funny thing is, and somebody pointed this out, and I really thought it was a beautiful argument, because everybody look, well, that's just the right, that's all just the right. Well, no, it also affects the left. It affects both sides. The right doesn't want all the intermingling. They don't want somebody coming into my house telling you what I can and can't do. Well, what if we ended up with the right in charge of the Department of Education, and all of a sudden teaching about homophobia or teaching about the history of the Islamic religion, all of a sudden that was okay. Ooh. Now we're pissing up your tree, too.
Yep.
So the fact of the matter is, it impacts both sides. The end result, and this is what really scares the hell out of me, is it's all to control one thing. And I really hate to put the word resource on it, but it kind of is. It's all to control the next generation.
Yep.
You control the upcoming generation, you control everything. That's what a lot of this is about. We've already said it in past shows. What is BLM going after? I'm talking about the government agency, not the terrorists. What are they going after? Okay, wait a second. All right. Go ahead. And as soon as I said that, I was like, you know what? It applies to both. The Federal Bureau of Land Management. Let's go with that. That took me a second to catch on to. What is it they're doing? They're trying to control the waterways. Yeah. They want to control water, which controls food, which controls the people. Well,
they control the land that the cows are grazing on.
Education. That controls the food.
Yep.
They're controlling the irrigation that goes to my farm crops, to the corn.
Yep.
Okay, you control the water, you control
But
the
this
food,
is just all conspiracy,
no, it's not conspiracy. BS.
I know.
If it was conspiracy, then they wouldn't be doing it. It's only conspiracy if there's no proof.
No, if it was conspiracy, they wouldn't have it on the UN web pages of this is what we're going to do and this is how we are going about it. That's what pissed me off. It's not hidden.
It's right there. They've actually published the plan, and it's not even just the UN that's published it. There has been there has literally been U.S. government documents going back into the 80s and I believe even the 70s that outline how we will take control of certain resources, how we will control certain parts of the population, how we will accomplish these things. Look it up. Yeah. It's right there. All you have to do, and this is what I say, uneducated. This is where you get educated. Look it up. Don't take what I'm saying. Google it. Find the damn document. Go to the National Archive. Pull it up. You can do that online. Pull it up. You don't trust the internet? Fine. Go there. Pull it up in person. You can do that. Read it for yourself. It's right there in black and white.
Well, some of these politicians are telling them, no, that's not happening. That's not happening. You also have Cruz's wife, who was on a committee for a I forget what it was called. It was the American nation. Basically what it is how to develop and bring together Mexico and parts of Central America to blend them into the United States and Canada for one nation. And that's what Cruz's wife was head of.
I think it was called the North American Union or something like that.
Yeah.
But essentially it'd be the U.S. economy. It'd be our money. Would be the universal money used that there would be no borders between Canada, Mexico, and the United States.
Yeah.
Essentially, the United States of America would be in the middle.
It would be done away with.
Mexico to the south, Canada to the north, and we would all just be intermingled, and it would be a North American Union. We actually touched on this, I think, last week. Essentially, it's the exact same model that the European Union did, the Eurozone.
And the Euro, is failing.
Take a look at what's happening.
It's failing. Economically, it's politically, it's failing. Every which way, it is failing over there. And we actually got idiots going, we could do that. Definitely, we could do that. Don't ask me why I did
the problem is we seem to think that we can do it better.
Well, that's what
the
socialism. Same thing.
Programs.
All these people that come up with socialism, I can do it better. No, you can't. Yeah, I can.
And this is all stuff. This is all stuff that was written 30, 40 years ago at the height of socialism, communism, the Cold War, all the rest of this crap. That's when most of this stuff was developed. And you know what? Nobody has looked at, okay, you know what? We want to make it better. Well, then how do we improve on it? It takes too much work. We'll just use this plan. We've already got a plan written up. That's like using a fucking play from a freaking 1935 football game. It might work once, but that's it.
Well, the flea flicker works every now and then, but if you try it every play, it's not going to work.
Did you really just go with the flea flicker?
Yes. Why?
I have not heard. I just have not heard of that. I just have not heard that in quite a while. But you're absolutely right.
It'll work every now and then, but
it does. It does, but you can't overuse it.
Yeah, you use it every play, you're going to get.
So you can't even use it every game or every season. I mean, you got to use it and then let people forget about it and then use it again. The problem is that's partly what our government's been doing. Look at the politicians in control. The same ones have been in control for how long now? They keep rotating. Well, they keep rotating. Let's see. Bill Clinton, he was president in the 90s. Hillary's been involved either directly or indirectly for now 20-some-odd years.
I don't think she should be eligible to run, just for the simple fact she was already president for 2 terms.
I've used that same one.
Well, I still remember a patient we asked, and Bill Clinton was the president. And, we were sitting there, sir, do you know what day it is? Do you know who the president is? He looks at us, goes, yeah, Hillary Clinton. We were like, okay, you're fine. You're fine.
Yep. I remember that call.
It was like, oh, my God.
I think somebody looked up and goes, sir, no, that is actually correct.
I think it was the medical was. Huh? I don't get it. Oh.
Yeah, he was probably a Democrat. Actually, back then, you know what? I was probably a Democrat back then, too, though. If I really had to be honest about it, I probably was.
I wasn't registered, but I was never actually registered Democrat, but I leaned more with the ideology because I didn't understand what conservatives were about.
Yeah. I'm not saying that I was registered that way because, honestly, I know I never was. But because essentially I never voted in any primaries. I've always been unregistered, and I just voted in general elections.
Right.
Always been that way.
That's pretty much how
I've been changing that because I want more of my voice heard, and I've actually changed that more recently in my life. But back then, I would probably say that I was more in line ideology-wise with the Democratic Party. Now, it is also, I mean...
Young, dumb, don't know what life's about.
What's that?
Young, dumb, don't know what real life's about. For me, it was...
Well, you know what? Yeah, that's... you're living in the basement of your mom and dad's house, or living in the attic, or, you might have your own place, but you fall short on the rent, you can call mom and dad, and they'll help you out.
I didn't research my information back then. I believed what the hell these idiot politicians said, and when they were bashing the Republicans, I believed them. So did my parents for the longest time. But we started paying attention to a little bit more of what was going on and said, holy shit, this is a bunch of bullshit lies. And
you know what?
Woke up.
Here's something that I think everybody can actually... This whole conversation's been about politics. Okay? But here's something I think everybody in America, every single person can look at some point in their life and realize that at some point they stopped buying into what somebody else said. Now, when you're just talking about it in politics, people may not realize it, but I can remember the first time that I would say my eyes truly got opened up to somebody's BS. And it was when we were working volunteer on the volunteer side, and I was essentially being groomed by senior officers that the union guys were bad, that the paid staff were bad.
Yep.
They are trying to destroy the township. They are going to raise. I mean, I listened to this stuff for a couple of years, and I
all fell for
I bought into it. I didn't know any better. I bought into it, and I never questioned it. And when I'd see the paid guys, I'd kind of just always give them, cold shoulder. Wasn't overly helpful. I can't remember exactly when it happened, but at some point I got the opportunity to actually work with them. I actually ended up working with them at one point. And what ended up happening was I realized, well, wait a second. This guy, he's not uncompassionate. This guy, he's really nice. He spent 20 minutes talking to this old lady just because she was confused about what happened. He actually spent the time to figure it out instead of just throwing her in the rig and carting her off. He actually wanted to help. Wait a second, this doesn't make sense. So then I started paying more attention. I started opening my eyes.
Yep.
And it did not take long before I could call out that SOB that was essentially grooming me, called it out for what it was, and I essentially ended up with an enemy for life. But you know what? It's fine by me, because I ended up with a lot more friends, much better career, and I'm a much better person for it.
Exactly. And the same thing happened with me. In fact, the one person you were talking about, we rode together, and basically like half the shift, we did not speak. We did a couple calls, and all of a sudden it was like, yeah, you're not what I thought you were. And I was like, yeah, you're not the asshole I thought you were either. But we got to go to break. We're running over. And then when we come back, we might get to what's actually on paper.
That'll be a first.
Exactly. You're listening to the Reaver After Dark with its host, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cow for the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint,
all good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reverbcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reverb Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reverb of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver After Dark Show with your hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Crash. The Reaver After Dark Show is every Wednesday, 8 p.m. till 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room, join the conversation. If you want to support the show, or if you want to support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one, click on the Reaver store, pick up a coffee mug or a t-shirt and many other items. Also, don't forget, every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. right here on shrmedia.com and hppundit.radio.com, you can listen to the Reaver After Dark with its host, me, Jersey Joe. All right, what's funny is we still haven't gotten to any of the subjects that were down on paperwork for today. So let's try to at least get to one of them.
Okay.
All right. So a woman has been fired from her job and blocked from Facebook after she stomped on an American flag. Some might have heard of Eric Shepard Jr. Challenge, which is an anti-American knockoff of the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. You might have heard of Erica Walker. She is one of Eric Shepard's followers. Walker is a black female who also supports the new Black Panther Party. She said she despises American white people, namely white police officers. Shepard is a self-proclaimed terrorist and a new Black Panthers member. Shepard is still on the run and wanted by Georgia police. Shepard is responsible for hosting a protest on Valdosta State University campus. During the protest, Shepard threw an American flag on the ground and stomped on it, which created a storm of controversy on campus. Police attempted to stop Shepard, but he ran. Police later found his backpack on campus, which had a loaded gun in it. Shortly after Shepard's protest was posted to social media, Walker staged a demonstration of her own. Walker had someone snap a photo of her stomping on the flag while standing next to a friend. The two held up their fist as a symbol of Black Panthers. She also had someone record the video of her stomping on the American flag. The day the photo was posted, Ocala Post contacted her employer, 1380 WAOK, the voice of the community, asked if Walker would be disciplined for her action. And on May 4th, the representative released the following statement. We appreciate your thoughts on this matter and taking the time to share them with us, but note that Erica Walker is no longer with the station.
Walker's Facebook page was filled with hateful posts towards white races in America, and many of the posts she referred to white people as the devil and cracker. She fell short of saying that the white people should be exterminated. She also posted her hatred for law enforcement. And on May 2nd, Ocala Post wrote to Facebook and asked if her desecration of the American flag and her vile hatred towards white people was acceptable by Facebook standards. On May 8th, Facebook responded to Ocala Post and stated they had deleted both of her pages, and we found that the material on Walker's pages violated community standards. Therefore, we removed it. The YouTube video has yet to respond to Ocala Post, and they have not removed the video. In the video...
Okay, well, now a couple
of
quick things on this, though. Just if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Hello? Oh, okay. Number one, her Facebook page was reinstated. There was an update to that article. Okay, she did get her Facebook page back. If you're reading the article that I read, scroll down towards the bottom. There's a small little blurb. Okay, there's also another thing with another website, GoFundMe.
Yes, that's the next thing that was coming up.
There's been 2 GoFundMe pages set up. One for, what was it, Walker? Is that the gentleman's name?
No, hang on. Shepard.
The original instigator.
Shepard,
I'm sorry. There was one set up for Shepard's legal defense.
Yeah, the family started one.
Okay, with a certain goal. And then there was another one set up. There was another one, it was for $60,000. Then the other one was set up, and I believe it was for $20,000, and that was to help him evade capture.
Yes.
To provide food, transportation, and shelter. Okay, well, now, correct me if I'm wrong, but hasn't GoFundMe in the past removed pages that had to do with legal defenses or illegal activity? Did they not remove the one for the baking, the couple that was owned a bakery that refused to bake a homosexual cake?
Yep.
They would not allow that to be there, but his is allowed. They're condoning illegal activity.
GoFundMe.
A fugitive on the run.
Real quick. Let me step in.
Let
me step in. GoFundMe usually deletes accounts for those that seek to collect money for legal expenses, namely the baker, as you mentioned. However, GoFundMe has neither responded nor deleted. Go ahead.
Okay, good. You had the actual quotes. Now, the other thing, and I just want to make sure that this is clear, is the reason why Shepard is a fugitive was not the protest. It was not the stomping on the flag. I find it irreprehensible. I find it completely disrespectful. I find it disgusting.
Yep. But
that's
it's still
my
legal,
opinion.
Unfortunately.
Okay. However, it is. It is legal. The reason he is a felon has nothing to do with his protest, has nothing to do with his race, has nothing to do with where he was born, has nothing to do with where he went to high school or what type of
Could it
toilet
be the
paper
concealed
he
weapon?
to wipe his ass. It has to do with the loaded, concealed weapon that was found in his bag. That is the reason why. That and I'm going to factor into that. He's a self-proclaimed terrorist. He actually uses that label for himself.
I was just going to say that.
Us calling him that. He calls himself that. So he's purposefully made himself a criminal. Why have sympathy for that? You don't have sympathy for the guy that gets caught for the 4th time drunk driving. He knows it's wrong, but he's doing it anyway. Well, hey, guess what? This moron did it too. I may not agree with him stomping on the flag, but I agree with the fact that he's got the right to do that, just the same as I've got the right to stare him in the face and say, you're a piece of crap. I have the right to fly that flag high.
Well, did you hear the Marine's response? A U.S. Marine responded to her.
That ought to be good.
My message to you is this. If you do not like what America has to offer, pack your shit and get the fuck out. There might be another country on this planet that is capable of dealing with your bullshit, but that is not me. If you do not like what's happening here, there are plenty of other people waiting in line to get into this country, and all you're doing is taking up room. So if you don't like it, get out. Now, I don't totally agree with that statement because...
No, I don't either. Because part of what makes this country great is the ability
right
to protest and to disagree. However,
there's
if
proper
you have
ways of
such
doing it.
disdain, if you have such disdain for the country to where you're literally protesting every single aspect of it, not just one part,
go to
but
Saudi
every
Arabia.
aspect of it.
Go to Saudi Arabia.
Then yeah, it's time
Iran.
to leave.
They'll deal with your bullshit real quick.
Okay, that's the thing. I mean, that honestly, that's where I draw the line. Okay, you don't like our education system. Okay, fine. But protest it. Speak up. Be known. Make your voice heard. That's what makes this country great. You don't like the taxation system. Same thing. You don't like this. Same thing. But if you completely hate every single thing about this country,
why are you here?
Then I completely agree with that, U.S. Marine. Why are you here? Why is this young man or woman putting his life on the line to defend the freedoms that allow you to piss all over every single thing, not just one aspect of what he's defending, but every single thing that he's defending?
Well, the one thing that I find kind of comical is
why I agree with him.
And who do these people support 9 times out of 10? Bernie Sanders.
Yep. Well, the other thing I find truly comical, and it was in a lot of these, well-publicized, the Trump protesters are so violent. I mean, look at this, look at this. Look at the protesters. And this is where I really find a lot of irony. I have yet to see one supporter for Trump. Actually, I have yet to see a supporter for Cruz or Kasich or anybody that was running on the Republican ticket. I have yet to see any one of their supporters wearing a mask, trying to conceal their identity while protesting. I'm sorry. It doesn't. It actually does not lead any credence to what you have to say when you're going to hide behind a mask. Oh, put me on TV. Hold on. Got to put up the mask. I'm sorry.
Or when you get to interview, what are you against Trump about? Because he's a racist. What has he said racist? Everything. No, give me something specific. Yeah, they can't come up with anything. What policies are you against of his? All of them. Well, what specifically? I don't know. Because they're not there to actually protest. They're paid to go there just to cause problems. And I hate to cut it off here. I really do, but it's that time again.
Oh, man, I had a good one, too. Damn.
Well, if you could spit it out in like under 30 seconds, I'll give you that time.
Okay. That moron, I believe it was in Baltimore, kid who was rioting, his mom saw him doing it, and she beat his ass on fucking national TV.
Yep. I love that one.
That was Parent of the Year right there.
But like
that
she said, she
year.
did not agree with what was going on in the city, but she did not agree with the violence that was going on either, and she didn't want her son out there. There was better ways to deal with it.
Exactly. And see, now that's what makes this country great.
Yes.
You can disagree with something without resorting to violence.
Yep.
She corrected a wrong.
All right, everybody. It is the end of the show. This show goes by way too quick, and I just want to thank everybody for listening, and we will be back Wednesday, a week from today, same time, same bat channel, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on SHR Media and HB Pundit Radio. And don't forget, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern, you have the Reaver of Common Sense. Until tomorrow. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hbpundit.com and shrmedia.com.